3-day period in which DLT Enterprises could appeal, but did not. But we're talking about, this was actually a 3-year saga. What was happening during these 3 years, Bruce? I mean, this didn't come to a court trial. This wasn't a Law and Order episode.
Not quite. We've sort of conflated the events a little bit because there was another law firm that was retained initially by David. We volunteered early on through Teresa, but another law firm came in and engaged in what I think it would be characterized as an extensive letter writing campaign back and forth to DLT for several months. This is infringing, no it's not. This is infringing, no it's not. And that went on probably for several months, and I guess at some point what really motivated you was two things. One, they had a conflict they discovered, the other law firm. And two, you, I think, had the book possibility surface from TCG, which couldn't go forward so long as this problem was outstanding. So letter writing wasn't going to do the trick.
And I was also very reluctant to engage in the court. I literally imagined myself like on the stand. Like I thought, oh my God, I'm going to have to be on the stand and swear an oath and all this stuff. And I thought, oh God, I don't want to do all this stuff. I just didn't, and there was a possibility that it would have turned really, they wanted to take depositions and look through my emails, and they were putting all these motions. They actually ended up trying to do that, and my lawyers were crafty and said, no, you can't. But initially I thought, oh God, this could turn out to be kind of a nightmare, and I was scared to do it. But then I just thought, no. Something in me was like, I'm gonna fight this. I just sort of, initially there was such a barrage of attention around it that it freaked me out, to be honest with you. Like, there were all these lawyers calling me and people saying they're gonna help me and throw banquets for me, and like, it was really weird. And I just was like, just get out, no, I'm not gonna do any of this stuff. And it took me a while to clear my head and think, okay, what do I really wanna do and what do I really believe in? So it took me a bit, I think, initially.
The court action lasted a little bit more than a year. We filed in January of 2014. We filed a declaratory judgment action. That's basically a reverse lawsuit. It's the person who's the putative defendant filing the lawsuit saying, these people are saying I did this wrong thing. Court, please tell them it's not wrong. And so this lawsuit was filed as a sort of declaratory judgment to tell them that this was not infringing. The defendants responded with fairly aggressively, actually. They not only said it is infringing, but they sued him for infringement. And then they brought a third-party lawsuit against the theaters, the production companies that had put the plays on. And of course, that's how the Frankfurt Print lawyers got involved, because suddenly they were dragged into it. A very aggressive response to what I thought was a fairly straightforward First Amendment issue. And then, as David points out, they wanted to get discovery. They filed a request demanding all sorts of emails and all your notes and stuff like that. And that would have really dragged it on and would have made it very expensive. And the judge basically said, no, this doesn't need to be resolved on you don't need discovery. You just basically compare the underlying work. In that case, 8 seasons of Three's Company, which we filed in the federal court down in Foley Square. And Camille had to listen to take them all down, I think. I mean, this was a big file. DVDs. And the judge, if you read the judge's 56-page decision, she was reading stuff that we didn't even quote. So she was actually sitting up and watching some of this stuff herself. But we said you can just compare the eight seasons of that with his play. And we put the text of the play in the record, the script in the record, and the court ruled in April of this year that we were entitled to First Amendment fair use on the pleadings.
Well, I want to ask, Ralph, you spoke of the filing that, was it the Guild or was it the Legal Defense Fund?
It was the Legal Defense Fund.
Tell us about what that filing was and what